It's 2024 and I'm playing Skyrim. And because this is Skyrim, I know there'll be a whole bunch of people who have clicked on only this video and will know nothing of the previous entries in the series. I've been making my Games in 2024 series since the start of the year, and would highly recommend checking out some of the other ones once you're done here. First things first, I need to create my character. And I think that in my past couple of videos, I proved that I can make pretty characters. So now it's time to make a scary looking one. Yup, she'd burn down your house and eat your soul for sure. Now we're supposed to be beheaded for some reason. The Imperials don't really seem to know why they're executing me, but let's face it, it's almost a certainty that I've committed some heinous crimes in the past. But instead of letting justice be served, everyone stops because, apparently, a dragon shows up. What, you think I'm going to believe that dragons are real just because one showed up in front of me? No way. Dragons aren't real. It's a conspiracy made up by the Jarls of Skyrim to keep hold of power and earn more gold. And if you say that doesn't make sense or ask me to explain how it works, then that means you're one of them. I decide that I'm actually going to fight through Helgen for once, mostly because all my settings and controls are all different since I reinstalled this game, and I'd rather have them sorted before I make it to the open world. For the most part though, as long as I know how to wildly swing my sword, I can easily make my way through the enemies here and loot their valuable armour. It's also good for helping to get some early levels under my belt, as one-handed is pretty easy to level up. Once I kill the final bunch of soldiers, I also get my hands on my first bow. I've decided I want to play as a kind of hunter-style character, so bow and arrow will be the way to go. It's been a while since I last played as an archer, not only in this game, but in any game honestly, so it's time to see if I've still got the skills. Hell yeah, I'm still great. As long as you ignore the next few shots that I completely miss. Because I'm playing as a hunter, I also decide to take down the bear at the end of the dungeon, which is made extra easy because this bear is ridiculously weak. Like, I don't know what happened to this bear to make it like this, but most bears I come across are much harder in my experience. I don't know though, maybe they just think I'm cute. I'm now out of the cave and into the wide open lands of Skyrim, and the second the sunlight hits my eyes, my alchemy addiction kicks in, and I start looting every ingredient I can find. You might call it a problem, but it makes me a bunch of money, so how could it possibly be a bad thing? While picking flowers, I do also make sure to activate the Thief Stone, as this should boost the levelling of pretty much every skill I'm going to use from here on out. I then head off to Riverwood, where I'm able to take some items from Gerda and sell off my excess loot at the Riverwood Trader. I also make a quick stop at the blacksmith to see what kind of items I need to be getting my hands on, in order to craft some better equipment. Seeing as I'll be needing some raw metals, I head to the nearby mine. Not only will I get to mine ore here, I also get to practice my combat archery on the bandit outside. Given how easy it is to end up playing as a stealth archer, it's important to resist it at every turn. I then head inside and land a sneak attack on the next bandit. It's all fine though. I switch to combat archery during the fight and get this gnarly killing shot with a close range arrow to the eye. I also prove that I'm not playing as a pure stealth archer when I deal with the bridge bandits, and use my mobility to keep my distance from the main one, ensuring I can shoot him, but he can't chop me up with his big axe. Feels like the bandits aren't exactly the brightest in the bunch here, but then the next one proves me wrong as he heads into the locked loot room and grabs a destruction staff before coming to try and kill me. Obviously he fails, but he does a lot better than most. Gotta give credit where it's due. Picking off the final bandits is nice and easy, even if one does do the classic Skyrim dodge. But then I get to freely loot the cave for all the goodies I want, including a ton of iron ore. At this point I'm basically playing the game on autopilot, which means I then head towards this bandit camp, where I'm able to pick off the heavily armed guy with ease. I manage to get a shot off at the archer before the warrior then charges me. He's a little slow with his swings though, so taking him down is no problem. It's then on to an archery duel with the final member of the trio, which ends rather predictably. After looting the bandits, I head round the corner in order to mine a little corundum ore, which will be needed later on. It's off to the main city of Whiterun now, and on the way I fire a single arrow at this here giant, which gets Aela to remark,
"You handle yourself well. You could make for a decent shield, sister."
Now as someone who's taught people how to draw a bow in real life, I think I can confidently say that the vast majority of you watching could have landed that shot on the giant. After all, it's a giant. It's not exactly hard to hit, but apparently that's all it takes to be seen as worthy of becoming a companion. I guess I shouldn't exactly be surprised that the entry requirement is so low. After all, Farkas managed to get in. Farkas. Before I head into the city itself, I notice that the Khajiit caravan has stopped outside, so go to say hi to everyone. But once I reach it, I can't see anyone. At first I think, okay, must just be a bug. But no. Kayla appears all of a sudden, and she is the sneak trainer. Clearly, she has been spending her free time teaching her travelling companions the art of stealth, which they've managed to master in record time. Inside the city itself, I only have a few errands to run. I chop up some wood, craft some potions, and purchase some fire arrows. As a hunter, I don't really fit in well with city life, so I decide to go looking for a home out in the wilderness. On the way, I come across this noble, who gets attacked by a couple of wolves. I help save his life from these beasts, but instead of giving me a reward of any kind, he says this.
Guess it's all clear now. I have nothing to say to you. Now move along, or I'll order my guards to attack.
Those are some pretty bold words for a man whose guards have clearly abandoned him. He does manage to expertly dodge my first arrow, and then a slight twitch causes me to accidentally hit his horse instead. Once he's down on the ground, it's easy to take him out, although his horse now causes a few problems. Fortunately, I'm playing as a wood elf, so my power lets me calm animals that are nearby. Doing this not only stops the attack, but also gets me a temporary horse to assist me on my travels. Now, I do know where it is I want to go. The house named Hendrheim is up for grabs, but I have a little trouble finding it. My sense of direction isn't the greatest at the best of times, and add on to that it's been a while since I last made this trip, and I end up getting lost once or twice. After ending up at Moss Mother Cavern and then Bargulch Mine, I finally spot the symbol I was looking for. There's a mountain between me and my destination, but this is Skyrim and I'm on horseback, so that's not going to prove a problem. I could drop straight down, but decide I want to try and climb to the very top first. With a bit of smart manoeuvring, I make my way up, but then my camera takes a turn for the perverted as it decides it wants to be locked at crotch height on my character. In order to not get demonetised, I climb down the mountain and get off my horse. My perfectly normal horse, who has nothing wrong with them, and no underlying issues we need to be concerned about. In the province of Skyrim, it's a lot easier to get a house than it is in the real world. All you need to do is kill the person who owns it. I stocked up with fire arrows and crafted some potions specifically for this fight, but after my initial salvo of arrows, the landlady gets stuck on a rock, and I'm able to pick her apart with no danger whatsoever. Seeing as I've still got so many fire arrows spare, I decide to use a few on the nearby saber cat, who also goes down pretty easy. And with that all done, I now own Hendrheim. Not only does this get me a fancy place to stay, but there's also plenty to loot, meaning I have a lot to sell as well as some better armour equipped. There's also a blacksmithing station outside the house, allowing me to craft up a hunter's backpack, and also improve my weapon and armour. As I am a hunter, I figure I need to hunt the biggest, strongest animal I can find in order to finish up the video, so it's back to the plains of Whiterun to go a-hunting. And there the beast is. A mammoth. Not only is it likely able to kill me in a single hit, it also has a huge health pool and is guarded by giants. If I'm going to win this fight, then I'll need to be smart and use everything I've got. Shame I then miss the very first shot and waste one of my valuable arrows. After that though, I do start landing my attacks, also getting a stealth bonus early on. Once it starts to get close, I use a paralysis poison, but it seems ineffective. As it pushes in even closer, I start to run. I need to make sure I keep my distance, but as the mammoth draws near, I resort to using my power again, in order to stop its rampage. And this is way more effective than I expected. Not only does it stop charging me, it also seems to not care when I start shooting it in the back. I end up running out of fire arrows, but it doesn't have much health left, meaning that my basic iron arrows help me to bring it down, and reward me with the worst kill cam I think I've ever seen. So that was Skyrim in 2024. Please do take a look at the other videos in this series. Honestly, I think most of them are better than this one was. If you did enjoy this video though, feel free to give it a like, and subscribe for more role-playing game content. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.